Hello, Internet. I'm so pleased you could join me. Welcome to the show. And there she is, right on. Why she got to start climbing on me? Ow! She's pawing at me, guys. All right, fine. Come on, say hi. Get it over with. I don't know why you're freaking out right now. All right. I've been quiet for like the last 3 hours. I probably haven't said a word. Now she thinks it's time to play. It's not time to play, Scarlett. You're live on the internet for everyone. Do not climb up here. Okay, you gotta get down now. You gotta get down. Okay. Can you get down, please? Can you lay down? Okay, thank you. All right, let's get into it. How is everybody this evening? Let's check the chat, see if we're live, all that good stuff. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Thursday. You're almost there, everyone. What the heck is going on? Oh, okay, that's why. You're almost there. It's almost Friday. Almost made it. Almost made it to the weekend. It seems like every day, I don't know if exciting is the right word, but man, it certainly seems like we are on the brink of World War III, doesn't it? Yeah, it does to me. I don't know about you guys. I'm not trying to be a warmonger, a fear monger, a fear merchant, or any of those kinds of things, but it seems like this thing is escalating dramatically, daily, on purpose, if you ask me. This whole thing is out of control already, and people seem to be cheering for it. But if you are new to the show, or actually, if you're not new to the show, if you are here and you'd like to help the show grow, thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I do have a Give, Send, Go set up. Links in the bio. If you'd like to contribute to the show, there's a donations icon on X, all that kind of stuff. All right. Yep. If you'd like to help out, please retweet, share, all that good stuff. All right, well, let's get into it and see what we got. Because, oh man, our barracks, how we doing? What's fan-freaking-tastic? We got boots on the ground in Israel now. I'm not too stoked about it, man. Not too stoked about it at all. I also apologize for being late. I am a little bit late. I had to change something last minute, so... All right, folks, let's start talking about Israel. I don't want to talk about Israel, but we have to, because that's just what's going on right now. So we got plenty to review. I didn't even talk about it at all yesterday. So let's get right into it, I guess. So Scarlett keeps wanting to come up and say hi to me, but I'm going to have to ignore her. I'm sorry, guys. So, man, I got so much Israel-Palestine stuff to go through. So, again, I try to stay as neutral as possible on this. I'm not picking a side on this. I'm very anti-war. I'm anti-intervention. I do not want any U.S. involvement whatsoever. I also don't want people to die on either side. So that's sort of my stance. No, I don't have a solution for the Israel-Palestine deal. It's also not my solution to come up with. I'm an American and I'm a Christian and I'm over here. So that's sort of my stance on it. And I feel like the news needs to be done differently now, because the old way doesn't cut it anymore for the corporate press or the newscasters or whoever deciding what the news is and what information to bring you, with these people that feel like there needs to be some sort of disinformation board and misinformation and all that kind of crap. I hate those terms. I hate those terms so much, because they imply that you're stupid. They imply that you are too dumb to sift through information and figure out what's true for yourself. So I don't like that stuff, and I try not to use those words. With that being said, take everything that I'm about to share with you with a grain of salt, because this is stuff, again, coming off the internet, and I'll tell you who it's being reported by. I'll tell you what's being reported, all that good stuff. But fog of war, everything, usually stuff, I almost cursed. Sorry, Shelly. Usually stuff coming out immediately about the war is false information. It's not accurate information. There's missing context, missing details, or it's just flat out wrong. Stuff usually gets filtered out and figured out what happened through time, but I'm going to go through what's being reported, and we're going to talk about it. So I'm not stating anything as fact, what's being reported. In fact, like one of these right here is, one of these has a community notes on it, and this is probably like the most controversial topic of all of them with the Israel-Palestine stuff, and that's the whole hospital attack or hospital bombing, whatever you want to say. So Mario Narwhals reports, I don't want to read the whole article, but yeah, I'm not going to read the whole article, but Mario Narwhals reports, New York Times debunks Israeli claim on Gaza hospital explosion, New York Times investigation. Why does this keep bouncing around? What is going on? Click on it. Maybe that'll help. Oh, how's everybody tonight? You guys doing good, folks? I'm doing great. I am doing fantastic. Running has been awesome lately. All right. I'm sorry. No, you guys don't want to hear about running. All right. Breaking. New York Times debunks Israel. This is from Mario Narwhals. Breaking. New York Times debunks Israeli claim on Gaza hospital explosion. The New York Times investigation alleges the missile shown in the video used by U.S. and Israeli intelligence did not originate from Gaza and instead originated from Israel. They also conclude the missile was never near the hospital. It was launched from Israel, not Gaza, and appears to have exploded above the Israel-Gaza border, at least 2 miles away from the hospital. In other words, Hamas and Islamic Jihad may not have been behind the Gaza hospital explosion. Also, no proof of Israel's behind it. So then there's a community notes on it saying the New York Times article does not claim Israel and American intelligence was wrong. To the contrary, they explicitly confirm, and I read the article, and they don't explicitly confirm this, but it's a big maybe. It's still a big maybe. So again, I don't trust Hamas propaganda. I don't trust freaking Israeli government propaganda either. So I don't know what's true. So who knows what's behind that? But we do know that Gaza is essentially being flattened. Buildings, just the scenes coming out of there are absolutely insane. Why did this go back so far? Okay. And there's a lot of, so what's funny, it's not funny. I don't like how many civilians, just innocent civilians, are being killed in Palestine. So I don't like the Israeli overbearing approach. I don't like. It feels like a genocide to me that's occurring over there. And then on the flip side, over here, these protests that are going on, these pro-Palestine protests are going insane. They are becoming very anti-Jew, and dangerous stuff starting to happen. So, but also criticizing the Israeli government doesn't make you anti-Semitic. So it's just there's so much going on right now. All right, so this is Alex Warm. Let's watch a quick Alex Jones clip, shall we? Why not? So Putin warns U.S. It will drop carrier busting, ship destroying missiles on our destroyers in the Mediterranean if we don't vacate. So let's watch a quick Alex Jones clip, shall we?
Putin released a very chilling statement. It's a video.
Sorry, hold on. North side, how we doing? The unvaccinated. I'm not saying it. All right. Nice to see you.
We'll play it here in a moment, where he says, getting your aircraft carriers in range of us with hypersonic missiles. When he says hypersonic missiles, he means nuclear-tipped hypersonic missiles. And that they're not going to put up with nuclear missiles being brought up to their borders. And that's what the Mediterranean does. So this isn't a threat. It's a message from the Russian Air Force. So he's saying it's a guarantee. It's not a threat. It's a message from the Russian Air Force to your aircraft carriers. A week ago, when the first one got sent in there, he said, you better back off. And now this is happening. China says they own the South China Sea. They're 1,000 miles away, literally attacking fishing boats in the Philippines and attacking oil drilling platforms off the coast of Vietnam. So China's out of control. I mean, I don't want to have a wider war, but I think Putin is out of line, saying that the U.S. aircraft carriers can't be in the Mediterranean. That's a free open sea. And there's Russian nuclear submarines off our coast. So we're going to threaten to nuke Russia because they got nuclear weapons off our coast? This needs to stop. It needs to stop right now. This is out of control.
Yeah, he's right there. Yeah, the rhetoric. Yeah, I don't like the rhetoric coming. I don't like rhetoric coming from anybody right now. But we've got carriers and destroyers off the coast of Israel, and we've got boots on the ground in Israel. I don't like this, folks. I don't like this. And I mean, if American troops go into Gaza, at that point, are we invading another foreign land? So I don't like this. Let's keep going. There's enough from the Alex Jones clip. Let's see what else we got going on. So, okay, I want to show that one. Yeah, why does this keep jumping back so far? I don't know why it keeps doing this, but oh yeah, this went way back. Why did it do that? Sorry, guys. It's acting way up. Sorry, folks. I know I'm a disaster tonight. Okay. Maybe I'll just go down the line. So, oh. Northside, I'm an idiot. I just realized what you said right now. I thought you were saying something else. I'm a moron. Now it's funny what a moron I am, but I can't say what I thought you said. All right, so this just came out like minutes before the show started, and it's just a quick clip showing, and again, this is from Save Palestine, so I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is new footage, old footage, but it's only an 8-second clip. It shows tons of rockets coming over from Gaza over Tel Aviv. But again, this has been happening forever, so I don't know if this is real or not. It might be an old video. So this is a few days ago in the UN, they played a bunch of like video footage of the Hamas attacks and stuff. So yeah, I'll play this. This is a 46-second clip. Israeli foreign minister at the UN plays a recording of a Hamas member calling his father and telling him that he was proud to have killed 10 Jews. Well, it's in, I'm sorry, what language do they speak? Is it Hebrew? I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what language that is. Yeah, so you'll be able to understand it anyway. But horrific stuff coming out in any direction you look. I played that for you guys last week. Wait. Okay, I feel like I'm missing stuff here. Sorry, that was footage of a German delegate running for cover when he was in Israel because of rockets coming in. All right, so this is a fight that broke out between pro-Israel. So this is the protests that are happening that I was talking about that are getting this pro-Israel, pro-Palestine stuff in the pro-Israel, pro-Palestine stuff in the U.S. is going to go banana balls. We're coming into winter right now. As this war progresses and the rhetoric from both sides increases, U.S. involvement increases, the death toll rises, tensions are going to rise. Everything's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. But the thing is, it's going to be winter. So a lot of places across the country, protests aren't going to be as gnarly because it's going to be super cold and snowing and all that kind of crap. Come next summer, spring, when it starts getting warmer, if there is any sort of catalyzing event, like a George Floyd, or something that catalyzes this event even further, or anything, any sort of catalyzing event that, I mean, you could already see BLM and the left jumping on this pro-Palestine stuff, and which I talked about it last couple episodes ago, how it just throws all of the really liberal Jews. It just really opened a lot of people's eyes to the left, because it's like, no, they do not like Israel. Our barracks, you like banana balls? I've been saying that for a while. I stole it from somebody. I don't know where I got it from though. Yeah, so lots of protest crap happening. Doctors Without Borders plea for hospitals hospitals running out of fuel. I mean, it's a nightmare, the scenes that are coming out of Gaza. And, this is Al Jazeera reporting. Obviously, Israel doesn't think too highly of Al Jazeera, but so in an Al Jazeera digital investigation found no grounds for the Israeli army's claim that the airstrike on the Ali Arab hospital in Gaza was caused by a failed rocket attack. So that whole thing is still up in the air. Like, a lot of people are saying, no, it's been confirmed. It's like, okay, that's just because the Israeli government is louder saying it. I don't know. I'm not saying it wasn't Hamas either, but nobody knows anything for sure. What the heck happened to my Israel-Palestine folder? I'm gonna refresh this thing really quick, folks. Okay. I guess I don't have as much. I swear I saved a lot more things to this folder, but apparently I didn't. All right. Well, we got tons of. Yeah, I know I did. What the heck is going on here? Now I'm confused. All right. Wait. This makes no sense. Yeah, I know for a fact I added something that I'm looking for, and I don't see it. Why not? Where is it? Is everything all mixed up somehow? Yeah, this is all old stuff now. Where the heck? I feel like X is screwing up on me. Where is all my stuff? There's footage. People are saying Marines are arriving in Israel, and it's footage of the 101st Airborne arriving somewhere years ago in like Romania or something. So that's fake. But there are troops arriving. We are sending more troops to Israel. So there are boots on the ground in Israel. There are carriers and destroyers parked out in the ocean, just guarding Israel from anyone else that wants to get frisky, mainly Iran. And we are just stoking the flames over there. So this thing's just, we know where this is going. I don't know what else to say. This thing is going to turn, I'm not going to say for sure this thing's going to turn into World War III, but I mean, it's also very weird. Tensions aren't great. Tensions are high with China, with Taiwan and all that crap right now. And then China's relationship with Russia, Putin going over there, just meeting with them. And then all of a sudden Gavin Newsom goes over there yesterday. And then Blinken was there today. Like, why isn't Biden going over there? It's very strange. I really think Gavin Newsom's going to run for president 2024. And I don't know what's going on. Maybe they just haven't figured out how they're going to make that whole transition. But Gavin goes there. He's still there. He just took a super narcissistic photo on the Great Wall of China. But why would he be there? And he claims he's talking California stuff and climate change stuff, even though it's not a California issue, but he claims there's all of that. But now Blinken's there talking U.S. relations. What's really going on? I don't know. I don't know, folks. I don't know. All right. Let's keep talking about stuff. Enough Israel-Palestine. No more Israel-Palestine. I already talked about it for too long, even though there's plenty more. There's a bunch of stuff I saved that didn't save, and I don't know why. So, all right. Let's talk about the big story that I'm surprisingly doesn't seem to be as big of a story as I was expecting it to be. But this shooter from last night. So it came out last night. Mass casualty event. This is from Roz Alerts. Mass casualty event declared as an active shooter strikes multiple locations in Lewiston, Maine. Apparently, this footage isn't even from the shooting, but this is what was being shared. And it was reported last night. So currently, numerous emergency personnel. Actually, this is old news. You guys already know this. He's on the run. 22 confirmed dead. I think it was like 80. It's like 60 to 80 people were injured. I mean, this dude went off. And there was some footage that somebody shared that I don't know if this is legit footage, but it was what the heck? Somebody said that they were outside near the bar where the shooting happened, or the bowling alley, and they recorded a video, and it sounded like gunshots, but it sounds like fully auto. But all right, so Simon Atiba reports, and this from yesterday as well. Massacre in America, at least 22 people gunned down after Maine gunmen opened fire in three different locations. Suspect at large. Note: a gunman carried out a series of separate shootings in Lewiston, Maine. If you guys got any, if the dude's been caught since this thing started, or if there's any new information that I don't know about, please let me know in the chat. Gunman carried out a series of separate shootings in Lewiston, Maine, resulting in the deaths of at least 22 people on Wednesday night. The suspect is still at large. A report suggests that the shooter targeted multiple locations, including a bowling alley, and many have injured more. Bowling alley, and may have injured more than 50 people. Maine State Police have urged residents and businesses in Lewiston to lock their doors. So I was up until like 2 o'clock in the morning, seeing if they would catch this guy, and they still haven't caught the guy. Last I saw, they were looking for him possibly on this boat. He's been admitted. Okay, so yeah, so there's the guy that they're looking for. So the person of interest, last name Robert Card, is the person of interest, who is apparently a firearms instructor and used to be. He was in the Army, I believe, the National Guard. Army Reserve, stationed out of Seiko. Okay. He's a trained firearms instructor, and this is the person of interest. They still haven't found yet. White Subaru, they found abandoned with a black bumper. From 7 hours ago, Roz Alerts, the U.S. Coast Guard is hunting for Maine mass shooter suspect Robert Card in the Kennebec River, where they believe he may have escaped aboard his 15-foot Bayliner boat. Okay, so they didn't know last night that he had a boat. It sounds like this guy had a plan. This is different. This isn't like, I mean, some mass shooters take out a lot of people, but it's like they don't ever have an escape plan. They go in and they just want to gun down a bunch of people, and they know they're not going to make it pretty much. So it's like a suicide mission. This guy seems like he had a plan and an escape plan and stuff. But again, this Robert Card guy is just a person of interest. So Ross Alerts, 2023 is just getting weirder and weirder. Okay, never mind. This is no update on that. Let's see. North side, you're guessing this is yeah, sewer pipes and water pipes. So yeah, this can't be a good a good sewage situation, and it can't be a good situation of any type anywhere in Gaza right now. Okay, so yeah, in response to this, Gavin Newsom, you know what? Things aren't saving. Yeah, something's going on where things aren't. I'm bookmarking things and things aren't saving. Gavin starts tweeting about gun control from China last night, immediately about this, and it was super annoying. I can stop sharing my screen now, but I am going to read a little bit of this article. So I've talked about it plenty of times, but you know how Gavin Newsom added there's already a 10 or an 11% tax on firearms and ammunition, and Gavin just decided to add another 11% tax and signed it into law. I don't understand how this could be legal. Just what's the number? What's the number to where you are now infringing on somebody's right to own a firearm? Because adding a tax on it is an infringement, because at a certain point it's too expensive. 10% is already a lot. You $700 firearm, you're adding $70 freaking dollars to it. Now a 20%? Really? That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Yeah. And ammunition too. It's all right. So in addition, California will ban people. So yeah, California's trying to push back with the Supreme Court stuff and all the assault weapons ban, the magazine capacity ban, all that stuff getting shot down. This stuff seems like it's going to go away. So Gavin Newsom's trying to do his own pushback. California will ban people from carrying firearms in most public places, while doubling the taxes on guns and ammunition sold in the state under the new laws Governor Newsom signed on Tuesday. So that's pretty much the gist of it. It's going to an additional 11% tax. So it's going to be like a 22% tax. This goes into effect on July of 2024, I believe. And he's making it so you can't, even if you get your CCW, because now every county in California, there's another thing that they've made, is it's a shall issue. If you apply, if you want your CCW, you can get it. It's how long are you willing to wait? All that stuff. But it's now shall issue. So what does Gavin Newsom do? They make it illegal to carry firearms in most public places. Okay. Gavin Newsom isn't stupid. So he understands that these laws, when you make it illegal to carry firearms in a public place, that means it's applying to people that are legally allowed to carry firearms, people with a concealed carry. So all Gavin Newsom is doing, and he's aware of this, is he's making it so people that have their law-abiding good citizens that have their concealed carry can no longer carry them in public places. How many of these mass shootings, this is what I would love to know this. Actually, if this guy was a firearms instructor, he probably did have his concealed carry. But how many mass shooters have their concealed carry? That's what I would love to know. How many mass shooters have actually had their concealed carry? Because that's all this law affects, is concealed carry people. Gavin Newsom made it illegal to carry firearms in this zone. How is that supposed to stop mass shooters at all? People have been asking this question forever. It makes no sense. Making something a gun-free zone doesn't stop mass shooters at all. It enables them. This is insane. Gavin's not dumb. He knows this. Begs the question, why is he doing it? It seems that he just wants to disarm good law-abiding citizens, gun owners. All right. I won't complain about that anymore. You guys know what's going on. It's just the more courts push back, judges push back against Gavin Newsom's crazy gun laws, the more the legislature and Gavin Newsom tries to do stuff. And I don't understand how police departments and sheriff departments just go along with this stuff. I mean, Yeah, mass civil disobedience at this point. Wouldn't it be crazy if they just started locking up tons of people for carrying? Meanwhile, the people that aren't getting, and then they don't have room in the prisons for actual criminals. That'd be interesting. Okay. All right. We got some Trump news. So, I don't really. I'll share my screen a little bit. So this just came out, and I don't know. I should be more shocked, but I'm not. So, Mark Meadows, allegedly, Mark Meadows worked for the FBI as an informant and wore a wire to record all conversations with President Trump while he was the chief of staff to him. What? The dude wore a wire for the FBI. The same FBI that suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop, remember? Like, it's when you look at this whole election thing, the FBI, there was a coup. That the 2024 election was a coup. Throw any sort of election fraud stuff out the window. Not saying there was any whatsoever. Suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop, this wire thing. There was everybody around Trump doesn't speak well for Trump, but there was an active effort by the deep state to keep this man from having a second term. This was a coup, if this is true. So he says this is not only unconstitutional, but it's criminal. This is the government we live in. And he says, I've received confirmation from multiple members of Congress and confidential informants that this is true. Not only have I received calls from the current members of Congress, I received both calls from media who knows that I know about this information. I received calls from the former members of Congress who have also explained the same thing to me. This is worse than Watergate. This is huge news. This is worse than Watergate. This is going to be the destruction of the FBI. Okay, if you say so. The deep state is like all powerful. Terry Wallace, what up? Where you been? You don't think Mark Meadows did it though? Why? All right, what am I missing? Well, now I got to look through the comments, see if there's something I'm missing here. Well, yeah, why don't you think Mark Meadows did it? I mean, okay. Well, that's what this guy's reporting. Ryan Fernier, founder, Students for Trump, executive director, Radical Alert, Anti-Woke. Okay. He's got 1 million followers. I don't know. That's what he's reporting. So we'll find out. I'm not sure, but I mean, think about that. This is the FBI, who's supposed to be like Trump picks the director of the FBI. They're supposed to work for him. And I mean, is this because of the Russia collusion stuff where they're trying to, that was the investigation? How are they going to spin this if it comes out as true? Okay. Well, now I am curious. I am very curious. All right. Was there any other Trump news? I don't think so. Well, actually, yeah, there's, I forget what it was, but something about this trial that, like, the case should be thrown out, the New York one. And yeah, I won't even say. I'll get the details too fuzzy, but watch what this guy explains here because this is kind of funny. So Terry, Mark Meadows says he didn't wear a wire. Trump says he likes Mark Meadows. And the guy, Ryan F., is the only one who's saying it. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm still inclined to believe it. I mean, Mark Dan Bongino doesn't think it's possible. Brian Cates thinks it's ridiculous. No substance, just a statement by Ryan. Okay. Well, shouldn't just throw it out the window, I don't think. But, I mean, if you're Mark Meadows, you're probably not just going to fess up to it. So, okay. All right. Well, let's see if there is anything to it. But, all right. Well, that's why we read the chat. So, okay. All right. Could be bunk. So, Terry Wallace thinks it's bunk. Terry Wallace thinks Mark Meadows did not wear a wire. But that, I don't put anything past the FBI at this point. So, yeah. Oh, I should also say, you guys, I'm wearing my Ranger Point Precision shirt. It's pretty awesome. It is a Ranger Point Precision makes a bunch of awesome parts for lever guns. If you are a Marlin fan, a Henry fan, this is not a paid promo either. I would love it if they gave me paid promos, but they make a lot of really cool parts. I just ordered a new loading gate, a muzzle brake, and a new trigger for my Marlin. And and a Picatinny rail, because I'm going to throw a scope on it, guys. I ordered the scope. I got one of those Vortex scopes. It's like a $250 scope. I don't know. We're going to see how it does. I'm a little concerned about the recoil. We're going to see how it does. If it doesn't do well, I can throw it on my 30-06. So, okay, let's see what else. Northside, FBI could have tapped his phone, turned it into a wiretap, and then saying he snitched to sow division. Okay, but I mean, is there recordings that we're not aware of or something? Is there recordings that are going to come out? Is this coming out because there's going to be like recordings of Trump saying crap coming out in the future? I don't know. Okay, here, let me start this video over because this dude says some stuff about the Letitia James trial. So yeah, let me start this over really quick. Everything is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculously over the top, too. So Letitia James runs on going after Trump. She goes after Trump. Everybody can see how ridiculous it is and that she's using her office to politicize the whole thing. And she just keeps doing it, and everybody cheers for it. And that's how things go. So, okay. All right. Enough about Trump. So, yeah, let's get out of here. Oh, I wasn't even sharing. Good. I didn't need to. All right. Let's see. I do want to talk really quick about freaking. Let's just call him Genocide Joe now. That appears to be his nickname. So this came out a few days ago, and barely anybody talked about it. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Terry. Yeah, you probably have no sound because I wasn't sharing because I'm an idiot. It was just a video of him talking about how Letitia James took $70,000 in campaign finances and didn't disclose it. And yeah, it's basically how Letitia James is super fraudulent and shady. So yeah, sorry about that. I wasn't even sharing the video. My bad. All right. So, this video came out today. It was so Jamal. Why didn't this video come out sooner? But Jamal Bowman, remember how he pulled the fire alarm and then said, "Oh, I was just trying to go outside." Well, this video comes out of him like removing the sign earlier. So you guys probably y'all saw this, right? This video. So here's Jamal Bowman walking up the signs on the door. So it looks like he actually kicks the these doors have like a little stake that goes into the ground, like a little spike that goes into the ground to stop. And it looks like he actually lifted that with his foot. So like he knows how this particular door operates too. Like he's very familiar with this door. And then he takes the signs on the door. It says like, "Hey, don't go out here." Takes them off, grabs the signs, both of them, walks away, pulls the fire alarm. And then he tried to say he thought that opened the door. Oh my god. Oh, he thought that he opened the door. That's why he pulled it and then walked away immediately, right after he took the two signs off the door. So ridiculous. All right. So I wasn't even going to talk about that too. All right. Okay. So this came out. Was this yesterday? Oh, I guess it was yesterday. Okay. So with all the news going on right now, with all the Israel-Palestine stuff, so that's another thing too, for them to stoke the flames of war. Sorry. Yeah, Jamal Bowman is a liar. Harbarks, yes, for sure. It does prove it. So everything that's going on right now is completely distracting from, well, like the Letitia James stuff and the Trump trials and FBI collusion and all that crap that's going on right now. This comes out yesterday. So if Chuck Castillo reports, and Terry, tell me if there's anything that he's getting wrong here, but bombshell report, the FBI has maintained more than 40 confidential human sources on various criminal matters related to the Biden family, including Joe Biden, dating back to his time as VP. That's from Fox News. All sources conveyed information of a criminal nature to the FBI concerning Joe Biden, James Biden, and Hunter Biden. These sources were under supervision of various FBI field offices throughout the country, including the FBI's Seattle field office. Senator Chuck Grassley discovered that an FBI task force operating within the Washington field office actively attempted to and occasionally succeeded in suppressing reports and information provided by these sources by falsely labeling the information as foreign disinformation. This campaign resulted in the halt of investigative activities. Chuck Grassley, based on the information provided to my office over a period of years by multiple credible whistleblowers, there appears to be an effort within the Justice Department and FBI to shut down investigative activity relating to the Biden family. Such decisions point to significant political bias infecting the decision-making of not only the Attorney General and FBI Director, but also the agents and prosecutors. Yeah, it looks like this cancer is fully metastasized, doesn't it? Our republic cannot survive such a political infection, and you have an obligation to this country to be clear on that. That's from Chuck Grassley. Okay, so the whole other information not being believable about homie wearing a wire to record Trump, these two things in conjunction would have been major, like even if he wasn't wearing a wire and all that stuff, like none of that is true. They were still clearly they're trying to find anything they can get on Trump. Meanwhile, they have all this stuff pouring in about Biden. And it's just ignore. It's pretty shocking. And that in conjunction with what we know about the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story from the New York Post being circulated on social media platforms. The suppression of that laptop story by the FBI. I still just it freaking breaks my brain. I can't understand how people aren't like every day out in the streets about this. All right, well, I'll play this really quick. This is a quick clip. And he's talking about some Yuri Bezmenov stuff about, yeah, like how we've been subverted here. So, all right, hopefully you got audio on this one. All right, let me know if you don't have audio on this one.
The demise of the U.S. has to come from within. Right? The enemies have to be inside, not really outside. No external enemy can cause so much damage as internal. It's an internal operation. When you're watching internal operations here, you can see them in cities that were pristinely beautiful 30 years ago are wastelands right now.
And that's like San Francisco just jumps immediately to mind, but it's not even just in the U.S., but it's like the iconic Western cities. Start with the U.S. ones, but San Francisco, Los Angeles over here on the West Coast, Seattle, Portland, all the iconic West Coast cities destroyed. Like this, really think about those cities are, I mean, obviously they're not burnt to the ground, but those cities are essentially destroyed. San Francisco, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle. So bad. And then you got other iconic cities like Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, Baltimore. I don't know how Boston's doing, but then you got like Paris, you got London. It's iconic cities are being, it seems like, destroyed from within.
You would see people, I mean, I'm from El Salvador, a third world country in Central America. And myself, I can see cities here and say, I wouldn't live here. So that would be unthinkable 3 decades ago. Totally unthinkable. That a Salvadoran wouldn't want to live in a U.S. city, in a U.S. main city. I mean, Los Angeles, San
New York,
Francisco,
Chicago. Yeah.
Well, Philadelphia, Baltimore. When you look how the cities are eroding so fast, this has to be by design. I mean, who would make so many stupid decisions? Like, okay, we're gonna give you money for drugs. Really, they're doing that. In some cities, they're giving people drugs. I mean, they're literally giving people drugs in some U.S. cities. Or they say, okay, we're gonna give you money if you don't work. Or
I don't know about they're literally giving people drugs, but they will give people drug paraphernalia. Like it's true. In San Francisco, they will give you needles. They will absolutely, they'll give you a whole kit. They'll give you a meth smoking pipe. Yeah, they'll give you everything you need to smoke, to inject, they'll give you everything you need to smoke meth or crack, inject heroin or fentanyl. They give you foil. They'll give you tents. They give you everything you need to be a homeless junkie in San Francisco. It's insane. It's bonkers. So he's a little off on that. But, I mean, unless they are giving him drugs somewhere that I don't know.
we're gonna, they make all of these laws that make no sense.
Yeah, so our barracks, Yuri Bezmenov. I did a whole episode on subversion, and I always talk about how you can't get this many things wrong on accident. It's everything that they're doing is the exact opposite of what should be done. It's not that, they get this right, then they get that wrong. It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back type thing, or even 2 step forward, 1 step back type thing. It's not that at all. It's just steps backwards. It's every single move that they make is the exact opposite of what should be done. And nobody is that unlucky. It's by design. Like, they are intentionally trying to collapse these cities. And then when you look at what's happening to our economy, and then when you look what's happening with war everywhere, marching towards World War III, it looks like everything's intentional to me. Like, when you take a huge step back and look at stuff, and like Tim Pool's going off right now about, because there's tons of people saying, how did Israel not know? How did this whole invasion, people are saying this invasion was allowed to happen so we could march right into World War III. And that is what I think. Just so, to be very clear, I think this, especially with Netanyahu's all his talk with this is our 9/11, the axis of evil crap. This has such 9/11 vibes. This smells just like 9/11, but just half baked. Not nearly as it just seems rushed and not put together at all. And it does seem like, yeah, I think this attack, like they allowed it to happen. I'm not denying any sort of attack happened. It absolutely happened. Hamas broke through the gates and they did horrible things. I think Israel allowed this to happen to their own people as an excuse to march in and just wipe out Gaza and then take it over when the ash settles. Yeah. Do I have any? Is it conspiratorial for me to say that? Is it tinfoily? Yeah, sure, probably. But Tim Pool like acts like it's preposterous to suggest such a thing after everything we've witnessed the last 2 years with the vaccines, the stuff that we never thought would happen, them actually trying to force these vaccines on everybody, force them on kids, Ukraine war, all the rhetoric, everything that they've lied about, everything we know that we've lied about. And you can't think that they would do something like this. You can't think that a government, the Israeli government, would be evil enough to allow their own citizens to be slaughtered. I absolutely believe that the Israeli government would be that freaking evil. And I think if you don't believe that they'd be that evil, then you're not paying attention. Okay, that's my spiel. All right, I think that's enough about Joe Biden for now. Yeah, enough of that one. I think I got some California shenanigans I want to talk about before we go. Let's see. Oh, that guy's still on the loose, the shooter? Oh, man. Well, yeah, I wonder when they're going to find him. Last I checked, News Nation was reporting on it, and they were like held up outside of some house trying to get somebody to come out of the house, but I don't know what the deal is. So I don't know if there's any news there. Yeah, if there's any news on the shooter during the show, you guys please let me know. I would like to talk about it if there's any breaking news on the shooter. So we talked about all that. Yeah, let's talk about some California stuff. So quite a bit. I won't have time to get into all of it, but we're going to. Yeah, so you remember Riley Gaines? She got essentially attacked at San Francisco State or USF. I can't remember which one. Well, Eventbrite bans women's right event organized by Riley Gaines while allowing pro-Hamas events on their website. The event listing company has banned the Protecting Women's Sports event. Okay, unreal. California is going to impose a $30 per truck fee for truckers in California so they can operate in California. So California is also suspending these cruise robo-taxis, those self-driving cruise cars that are just a disaster that have been so these cars have been getting all screwed up and they cause massive traffic jams. They've hit a car that hit somebody else, and people started putting cones on top of the hood, and then they freak out and they don't know what to do, which is hilarious. And I've been waiting for the opportunity to do it. Well, somebody got pinned under one. Somebody got pinned under one and dragged. So, yeah, they are going to suspend the use of those cars. Yeah, the car ended up coming to a stop, and it was like right on top of the person's leg. The person's like freaking out, screaming. Here, I do want to talk about this one. This is from Wall Street Apes here. So, Wall Street Ape writes, California is pushing for 100% electric new car sales soon, and this is the reality of owning electric. LA to San Francisco road trip was 14 hours of charging. Well, he just quotes the guy, so I'll just play the video for you.
I took a road trip in their electric car from Los Angeles back to the Bay Area. The sedan didn't emit any exhaust, of course, but Pankuch got plugged in to a lot of exhaustion along the way.
The whole trip was 55 or 56 hours.
Sorry, hopefully the audio is louder on your end.
14 of which were charging.
How many problems did you run into?
Almost every other charger.
He tells us either the chargers were out of order, like this one near Bradenton, or his app to pay for the kilowatts could not connect.
Some places we didn't get a signal. If you don't get a signal, you can't activate your account to start the charger.
If you can't get a signal with your phone, you've got to take out your wallet and use a credit card, but we're told that comes with a $50 hold every time you do it.
Pay with credit card.
We wanted to know more about our charging station infrastructure, so we reached out to Here Technologies and SBD Auto about data they collected. Florida ranked 14th in EV readiness, but near the bottom in the number of vehicles per station, with just under 21 cars for every roadside charger. And according to a JD Power survey conducted earlier this year, 1 out of 5 EV drivers nationally experienced failure at public charging stations, and it was a bit higher here in Florida.
Connecting to vehicle. This may take a minute. So you can already see how long we've been here. Your gas tank would have been full by now.
Pankuch is not ready to go back to gas, but he came to aid on your side, hoping to let others prepare if they decide to go electric.
Now we can plug it back in.
I came because we're being forced, in a sense, to drive electric vehicles. And if that's the case, then we're going to have to get our infrastructure together. The problem is the ones that we have right now don't work. We need to focus on the ones that work right, that we have right now, before building any new ones, because we can't expand any.
This is just, California is Atlas Shrugged. It's Atlas Shrugged in action. This is the perfect example of it. California trying to force the electric vehicle thing to happen while they are already at the forefront of innovation for electric vehicles. Like, we don't need to do this. California, if the state of California just got out of the way and said, you know what, Tesla, you guys are doing some amazing stuff and we love it. And because of what you're building, the infrastructure that you're building, and new technologies that you're creating, the actual, like, every plug needs a socket. And if every electric car manufacturer designs a different socket, well, that's not going to work, is it? It has to be universal for every car, every home. The stuff needs to work. It needs to be interchangeable, not like Apple, super proprietary, even though Tesla may do that. I don't know. But if California gets out of the way and just allows industry to progress, demand increases because Teslas are good, instead of trying to force it and jam it down everybody's throats, this stuff's going to improve. And then as the infrastructure gets there, other companies can take what's already been built, pull that out, and then build on top of that. Things happen naturally this way. It's the way it's supposed to happen. Instead, California is trying to force this to happen when they're already at the forefront of it. It's so amazing to me how stupid California is. They don't need to do this. California has always been at the forefront. Well, I'm not going to say always, but for a very long time, California has been at the forefront of tech industry. And the state is the only reason that's starting to get worse. Regulations, companies are leaving. Anyway, all right, I'll stop here. This is here's the super narcissistic Gavin Newsom photo. You guys see this one? It was him with the Great Wall of China. He's such a scumbag. Look at him. He's like, he takes his Top Gun, trying to look like Tom Cruise photo. It's like, dude, it's not 96. I don't know. He's such a turd. Such a turd, and I just can't stand him. All right, I think that might be all I got for tonight. Oh, there he is. There he is. Slick Gavin Newsom. You ladies love him. I know you do. That's the only reason that he's in office, because liberal wine moms love this man. That's it. That's the only reason. Jeez. All right. Enough of that. And my computer's running super slow. Hopefully I'm still alive with you guys. All right. I think that's all I got for California. I've gone a little long. There was something else I wanted to talk to you guys about. I might as well. We're here. we're here. I'll keep going for a little bit if you guys aren't sick of me yet. Let's see. There is something I wanted to talk about a little bit. It's not politics. It's not even politics, but there's a video that's been going viral about it. There's been a few videos going viral about Gen Zers complaining about stuff. And this is one of them. And I've heard this take from two different chicks now. And I tend to agree. So we'll watch this video first before we get into the takes.
I know I'm probably just being so dramatic and annoying, but this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person, and I'm commuting in the city, and it takes me fucking forever to get there. There's no way I'm going to be able to afford living in the city right now, so that's off the table. Like, fucking duh! If I was able to walk to work, and it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like, I leave here, like, I get on the train at 7:30, and I don't get home till, like, 6:15 earliest, and then, like, I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. Like, I don't have energy to work out. Like, that's out the window. Like, I'm so upset. Oh my God. Nothing to do with my job at all, but just like the 9-to-5 schedule in general is crazy. Being in the office 9 to 5, like if it was remote, you get off at 5 and you're home and everything's fine. But like I'm not home. It takes me long to get home, and like people that drive to the office, like you don't get off at 5. And I know it could be worse. I know I could be working longer, but like I literally get off, it's pitch black. Like I don't have energy. How do you have friends? Like how do you have time to like meet like a guy? I don't know. Like how do you have time for like dating? Like I don't have time for anything, and I'm like so stressed out. And I'm also getting my period, so that's why I'm all emotional. But like, am I so dramatic? It's fine.
So, all right. So there's a lot there. Let's see. I'm very curious what your guys' takes are on this. But so this is from Little Apostate over here on X. I like her. She's awesome. She's got a great account. So she says, and the conservatives, people have been jumping all over like, welcome to adulthood, sweetheart. You know, like, that's the real world, kicking you the butt, all that kind of crap, you know, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, all that stuff. You know, everybody's laughing at her. So Little Apostate says the conservative outrage over this is hilarious. A woman working her 20s away, incapable of saving for a home or finding time to meet a husband, is the antithesis of what your brands. She clearly has been told this is the path, and she is confused as to why it is. So sick of videos of people struggling in the world that is clearly insane because used to be pad the pockets of hypocritical grifting losers that essentially collect their opinions from a toilet bowl. 0 brain cells required to think like you. Okay, so she's clearly not too pleased about the conservatives jumping all over her. And then another account that I greatly like, Heidi over here on X. She's also awesome. Heidi Briones. Yeah, Heidi Briones, I believe. She says, everyone, and the same video she's commenting on, everyone has felt like this at least once if you've had a 9-to-5. Most of the people giving her shit have never worked an office job, and it shows. No 9-to-5 isn't the hardest thing in the world, but it is soul crushing and shitty. So, yeah, I tend to agree with these chicks more. There is some like, you know, I mean, this is it for everybody. This is the reality for everybody. It's rough. Yeah, life sucks. But, you know, I do get it. Like, is it supposed to be this way? Because a man used to be able to work a job by himself, a trade job, you know. A man used to be able to be a plumber, him be the only person that has a job in the house. His wife could stay at home and raise the kids, and he can afford to buy a home. That used to be an option. And not only was he able to afford a home on his income, that home would accrue value. So then that home is working for him as well. Well, now the cost of a home and then the increase of income are so separate that not only can people my age and younger seem like the carrot's always just out of reach, I often think that I self-sabotage myself. The reason I'm not married and don't have kids yet is because I have this idea in my head that I would like to be able to be, if this was, if the person that I ended up marrying wanted this to be the case, that I worked, I provided, and my wife doesn't have to work if she doesn't want to. I'm not saying, won't get into that too much. But I've never been able to get to that point where I can afford on just my single income, my own house. And I feel like a failure because of that. Because a lot of dudes do. A lot of dudes can buy a house on their own. And yeah, the carrot's always been just out of reach. Anyway, if you can't afford to buy a home and then you don't have the home that's going to increase value, generational wealth for you that you can pass down to your kids, yeah, it is a vicious cycle. I get where this chick is coming from. At the same time, and yeah, so okay. And if you're going to criticize her about how there's very little time, then instead of criticizing her, why don't you say, okay, well, yeah, it is hard, but that's why time management is so much more important when you're an adult. And if you want to do other fun things or you want to do side projects, which are even more important because you want to get out of this hole, you want to do something on the side a side hustle that's going to make you money, something else that you're working on, physical fitness, whatever, you have to manage your time better. You have to manage your time highly efficiently, especially if you have a long commute. I had a job where I was commuting from Santa Cruz to San Francisco, Santa Cruz to Oakland, Santa Cruz to all over the place and back. 2 to 4 hours of driving every day. And I would still run 5 to 7 miles a day. During the winter, when sun's down at 4:30 in the afternoon, that's hard. You got to be able to manage your time effectively, efficiently. So that would be how I wouldn't even critique her. I would give her advice on how to adult better. And instead, everybody's ripping her apart. So Gen Xers are lazy and this and that. And yeah, it kind of sucks because she does not strike me as lazy at all. She's going to her job and she's talking about how she's struggling. She's talking about how she's struggling. This isn't complaining to me either. She's going into great detail about how hard stuff is. And she's explaining why it's hard and how it's hard. And it's tough. It's tough for her. And she's venting. And she's even recognizing that she's being emotional. She's recognizing that she might be a little out of line here. And other people have it hard too. She's recognizing all these things. This isn't complaining to me. And to me, she has valid complaints. So yeah, people that are ripping on her left and right for talking about how she works herself to the bone every day, doesn't have time to live a life, and she basically hates it. It sucks. We've all been there. It sucks. And you're allowed to complain about it. All you guys, everyone, when life sucks, you're allowed to complain about it sometimes without conservative podcasters on the internet making fun of you. So I guess that's my spiel. So who is this? What's her name? Bricklebelly? Is it Briley Belly 123 on the internet? Get it, girl. You're doing fine. You're doing fine, sweetheart. Keep going to work. Armed Dave, thanks for checking in. What's going on? Print more money. Yep, that's the way to do it. Yeah, why don't we get a money printer? It's so stupid. Terry Wallace, 9 to 5 is a yuck shift job. Yeah, it's. And I was a tradesman for 18 years, and my career is obviously very different now. It's been almost a year. In February, it'll be a year since I've embarked on my new career, if you will. And it's everything is interesting. I'll say that. But my previous career was soul crushing. I'm trying to get back into it too. That's what's funny, isn't it? I'm still trying. Had a phone interview yesterday. We'll see. But it is soul crushing, working your life away for somebody else for just enough money to be broke all the time. That does suck. So, all right. I think that's enough for tonight. Folks. Our Barracks, Armed Ape, Terry Wallace, Northside, all you guys, thanks for hanging out so much. Always good to see you guys. I will be back tomorrow. I'll do a short stream, same time tomorrow, 6:30. But then I will be back at 10 o'clock at night with my best bud to talk about his trip. I don't know what he went back east, did some stuff, and we'll talk about guns again, I'm sure. That is not a Sunburst strap behind me. That is a guitar my dad made. Yeah. Cheap guitar my dad made. So, all right. That is all I got for tonight, you guys. Our Barracks, Terry Wallace, Northside, Arm Dave. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. You guys are the best. But before we get out of here, you know how we do it. We gotta read a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. All right, let's see what we got. See what we got tonight. I can't read that one. Okay, I didn't read the end of this joke, so I don't know if it's going to be good or not. But let's just go. All right, you guys ready for the Chuck Norris joke of the evening? Here it goes. As well as being an actor, martial artist, and poet, Chuck Norris is also a world-renowned physicist. It was in this capacity that he once had a disagreement about steady-state theory with Stephen Hawking, hence the wheelchair. And on that note, stay CaliBased.